Hey guys, Gons here for the Face Like the Sun channel. If you believe in what we do here, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Now I know correlation does not imply causation, and something like car accidents and people dying from car accidents is nothing new. It's been going on for as long as cars have been around. But the story that was published today, Kathy Berman, wife of ESPN broadcaster Chris Berman, dies in car accident, it just sparked something in my mind that I wanted to share with you. Now, this is the second car accident-related death in sports in recent memory. Chris Berman being a broadcaster that many people know, he's been at it for a long time. But just a few short weeks ago, we had this story, Isaiah Thomas's sister killed in Washington car accident. And again, correlation does not mean causation, but if we're talking about spiritual realities, spiritual entities tinkering with our reality, this is the type of stuff that they might be doing. And they leave their signatures in some way, right? And it's possible that this sort of tampering is that. It's the dark spiritual forces becoming more bold in influencing people and influencing the kinds of tech that we have. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The reason why I brought up Isaiah Thomas's sister being killed in a car accident is because to the elite, numbers mean something. And I thought it was incredibly strange and perhaps just coincidental that Isaiah Thomas scored 33 points, which is a very important number to the Masonic Order and the elite, in a losing effort against the Chicago Bulls in that first game where he played, even though he just found out of his sister's tragic death. And you say in sports you can't control that kind of thing, but again, it's just one of those strange things that when we look at through the lens of a supernatural worldview, there are patterns that you start to notice. And again, car accidents is nothing new. Ever since cars have been on the road, there have been an increase of car accidents with the increase of people on the road. However, as you can see in this chart, it looks like car accidents in general have gone down a little bit since the early 2000s. But this would not help the automatic driving car industry. So, of course, they're going to have to start using and politicizing car accidents, tragic car accidents, as part of a greater narrative that will hopefully gain momentum for the implementation of automatic cars, which are tied to smart cars, smart cities, and everything that they want to do with the entire New World Order system. So it all ties back to that, and this is just another tentacle, another thread in the web of lies that is entrapping all of mankind. Now, in addition to that, there was a big rig accident on the 5 freeway, which is one of the biggest freeways and most congested freeways in Los Angeles, and it actually killed one person and injured 10 others. And this was right about the time Elon Musk did his TEDx interview talk, whatever it was, where he talked about, oh, I want to create these underground tunnel systems for the drivers in Los Angeles. And also he was working on this self-driving big rig truck, right? That looked like Optimus Prime or something. But again, timing seems to be everything here, and correlation does not equal causation, but there seems to be a pattern emerging. And this brings us back to those WikiLeaks documents from a few months back that showed CIA hacking and the ability to hack cars. And I wanted to link to the Washington Post article here because people say, oh, you know, WikiLeaks, the Russian WikiLeaks, it's all fake news, all this stuff. Well, even the Washington Post themselves had to admit that that language was in the WikiLeaks documents and that it's alarming. And so when you start looking back at some of the car accidents that have happened in general in the global stage or world stage or whatever, it's all one big cluster, and perhaps the controllers allow or share this technology with certain people for nefarious reasons, and you know they're able to carry stuff out. I don't know, but it just raises suspicions on those old stories. And then, of course, that big conspiracy about Paul Walker and his death and the alleged speed of the car that he was in that killed him, not any kind of mechanical failure. I know some of you guys have looked into the possibility that the Illuminati killed Paul Walker for whatever reason. Very possible. And here we see the correlation here. Just today it was published, mapped, the top 263 companies racing towards autonomous cars. And look at this list here of all these startup companies working on autonomous cars. Part of the fourth industrial revolution will be to create jobs, to create industry. And this is an entire industry that is tied into the UN Sustainable 2030 agenda, the New World Order agenda, to enslave mankind and create camps for them, basically these enclosed smart cities where we get to be fully monitored and controlled and basically become human fodder for the elite. This is what we're building for ourselves, and we're calling it progress. So hopefully videos like this just give you pause and make you think about the world that's around you and reconsider what reality really is. Because we're in this together, and guaranteed what we've been told about reality is not the whole truth. And we live in this age of deceit where deception is king, and the love of money drives all kinds of desires and decisions that don't benefit your fellow man, but benefit the corporation, that benefit the institution, that benefit the government. That constant struggle is ultimately going to come to a head. The bridge that we're standing on here is going to collapse, and what are you going to have then? And that's why it's so important to get your spirit and your soul right, because our focus should be our eternal home, not this temporary one that is being enslaved by the New World Order. Let me know what you guys think. Again, if you guys get value from these videos, please consider supporting us on Patreon. Thank you to those of you guys who already do. I really appreciate it. You guys rock. You guys make this happen. Have an awesome day, guys. God bless.